Good morning and welcome to Valley Views. I'm your host, Glenn Edison. Certainly glad to have you today. And as always, you can see our programs on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as BTC Fiber's Channel 18. And today we have with us Shannon Burke from Velo Bike Tours out of Chattanooga. So, Shannon, it's good to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having
Appreciate
me.
you being here.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Now, Shannon, many of you may not know, you're aware of the Saquati bicycle tours in October, right?
That's right.
And so they're around quite a bit, and it's been pretty successful, hasn't it, Shannon?
Yeah, we've had great success with Saquati. We've only done it a couple of years, but we've already got, last year we had over 450 people, so people like it out here.
And they come from everywhere, right?
Yeah, last year I think we had 16 different states represented.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And it gives them an opportunity to come see the beautiful valley we have.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea of having the event. I mean, I do bike tours separately from the event, and I'm always bringing people out here in ones and twos, and I thought it'd be fun to have a big event where everybody could come at one time, and that's exactly what they do. They get introduced to the valley, and then they go home, they tell their friends, and so, you know, we had a big group from Nashville come down last year. They're bringing all their people again, and a lot more. So it's exciting to see the word get spread.
Right, I mean, it's interesting because even throughout the year we'll see people on cyclists throughout, you know, going down 28 or 127 and around.
Yeah, it's very popular, and in fact, you know, it's only half an hour from Chattanooga, but it's been interesting with the Saquati event, introducing the valley to Chattanoogans. You know, you talk about people coming from out of state and getting to experience, but a lot of people don't realize it's here. We've had a lot of people moving into Chattanooga, maybe haven't been around that long, so it's nice to introduce them to the valley so that they can come over every weekend if they wanted to, or just any time, because it's so close and so convenient, but it's a completely different experience than trying to ride your bike in traffic. You come out here on these farm roads, it's beautiful.
Well, now you have, with Saquati, you have different routes, different mileage routes.
Yeah, and that's one thing we wanted to make sure we did was make the event all inclusive. So any skill level, there's a route for you. So we have a route as short as 15 miles. We actually do a little greenway ride as well. So last year we had, the police department was kind enough, their cyclist cops came out and led a group of kids on the greenway for just a couple of miles. So even that short, and then we have a 15 miler, which is kind of an introduction to the valley. And then we have routes all the way up to over 100 miles that include some massive climbs going up the Cumberland Plateau or Walden Ridge. So, you know, if you want a big challenge, we can give you that. If you just want to ride on the farm roads, a nice easy ride, we can do that too. So it really appeals to all levels.
Right, and that's and you're not originally from the Chattanooga area. You're from Texas?
Yeah, so I moved up here from Austin in 2016 and actually started my bike tour business in Austin in 2012. And the original plan then was to get out of town, because get out of Texas, there's only so much riding you can do there. So we would go to Colorado or California or New Mexico, you know, just places all around. I do a little bit over here in Virginia. But when we moved to Chattanooga, I thought I'd continue to do the same thing, maybe focus East Coast. But after being here a little bit, I didn't want to leave.
Yeah. So
I remember when I first moved here, I had a tour in New Mexico, and so I had to drive all the way back west. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I leaving this beautiful green place to go out here to the desert? And you know, it's just like we have everything you want here. So what I did is I kind of shifted my focus to only doing tours in the Chattanooga region. And so rather than meeting people in other places and giving them a tour there, I invite them to come here and I show them around. So that's been a lot of fun. And so, you know, people will come in for 2, 3, 4 days. Saquati Valley is always one of those days. That's one of the things I want to highlight. When you come to Chattanooga, let's go to the cycling playground out here and let me show you how nice it is.
And this year, the Saquati is October 1st.
That's correct. Yeah, it's always first weekend in October, first Saturday.
And like I said, many people, you said 16 states last year.
That's right.
So that gets people who do not know Dunlap and Saquati Valley.
Yeah.
They may know Chattanooga, but they don't know Saquati Valley.
Yeah, and we actually do a post-ride survey, and you know, ask people: is this the first time you've been to the valley? Would you consider coming back apart from this event? You know, so at other times during the year, maybe bringing your family for a vacation. And it's amazing how many people, number one, who haven't been in the valley yet, and number two, who say they would definitely come back on their own. So that's the idea, is we hope that they will come back and make this a vacation destination apart from our event. So.
Right, well that's good, because it really, the Saquati Valley is kind of a hidden secret.
It is, yeah.
And I've been told many times that there's a valley over in Germany that's similar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I've not been to Germany, so I don't know, but that's what I've been told by many people.
Yeah, it's a unique. I mean, this valley is very unique because it's a picture perfect valley in terms of you got a wall on one side, a wall on the other, and a river running down the middle. I mean, like if you were a kid, this is how you would draw a valley. So it's ideal. And we used to do bike tours in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, which people have heard of. There's songs and all that stuff. But I'll be honest, it's not as nice as this. I mean, it's basically there's really just one side where the mountains are, and there's a lot more traffic. So it's just not as cyclist friendly, and in my opinion, not as scenic either. So I think Saquati Valley, once people discover it, it will become that much more popular.
Well, and I know recently when they redid the roadways and paving and everything, they made a bicycle pass, available, which was good.
Yeah. Now that helps. I mean, we do our best to keep the cyclist off of the main roads anyway. I mean, so what we're looking for is the side roads where there's not a lot of traffic, but sometimes to connect points you need to get on a main road, so it's great to have a big shoulder or to have a designated lane in the urban area, so semi-urban as you could be here in Saquati Valley.
And cycling is growing more popular throughout the years. Has it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, particularly with the pandemic, people are getting out. The bike shops, boy, in 2020 you couldn't find a bike to buy because they sold out so fast. Everybody said, well, we can't go indoors anymore, so let's go out and play. And so cycling really took off. So it's really a nice time to be in the cycling industry and a nice time to focus people on where to go ride bikes where they're not going to have traffic, and this being one of those prime destinations.
Well, that's great. And I know what are some of the, I know you have some other paths that you do. What are some of those, some of the rides you have?
Well, so there's Cyclo Saquati, and then I have my bike tour business. And so one of the things we're going to do this year is we're going to have cycling camps in the valley. And so this is kind of like a bike tour, except it'll be a little larger group. It'll be 3 days in the valley with set dates, and we'll showcase each area. So we'll do South Valley, Middle Valley, and North Valley. And each day we'll do a big ride, we'll do a climb, and then we'll finish at a local restaurant or have a picnic or something that would showcase how nice the valley is beyond just the cycling. So we're excited about that. That's something different. Like I said, I've been running tours, and I still do that in terms of custom tours. So if somebody's coming up from Atlanta or wherever, they say, hey, I'm going to be in Chattanooga, I'd love to ride bikes for a couple of days, then I'll bring them out here and we'll just do whatever distance they want. But the camp, I can get a lot more people in one weekend and really show off the area. So that's something we're going to try this year. And so far the response has been pretty good. People are signing up.
And what about, I noticed on your website, the gravel tours?
Yeah, that's something new also. And that's primarily east of Chattanooga, so Cherokee National Forest. So you're getting out into the woods and the mountains out there. Gravel cycling is actually one of the hottest trends in cycling right now because as urban areas get more populated, there's more traffic, and so people are looking for off-road experiences. But mountain biking can be intimidating because you're on the trails and there's rocks and trees, and so gravel is kind of that happy middle ground where you're still on a road, but it's not a high traffic road, it's gravel. So you go to the Cherokee National Forest, you might see 1 or 2 cars on a 2-3 hour ride. Yeah, that's pretty nice, and you're in the woods. So that's something we've been playing with as well. I mean, I like to get out there solo riding, but we're also going to do some camps that focus on that area. And I've been exploring around here too. There's some gravel, up on the plateau and around. So I think there's opportunities to kind of tap into that market in this region as well. Right,
and also around here, I know now, since we see more cyclists, the cycle, I guess, safety is more a big issue now too.
Yeah, and it's important, and that as a bike tour guide, I think it's important to go with people who know what they're doing. So number one, you want to make sure you're riding in the right place, and so that's what we try to do is point people to the low traffic roads. But then beyond that, it's all about having the helmet, not having the headphones in so that you're aware of your surroundings, not riding out in the middle of the road, kind of staying to the right, being aware if there's a car behind, waving them on to pass. They're just common courtesy stuff that works both ways. I mean, cyclists a lot of times will complain about the vehicles, but we have to do our part as well in terms of being respectful. Everybody's got a right to the road, and we all need to get along with that. So it really is just kind of paying attention to your surroundings when you're riding, and I think people are doing more of that. As you say, as cycling becomes more popular, the how to get along part, the safety part, becomes a bigger part of that.
Right. I mean, we don't want accidents.
No, not at all.
By no means.
No.
And now, talking about the different routes for the levels of experience, you've got them all covered, right, from beginning to the most experienced.
Yeah, absolutely, and everything in between. And with Cyclo Saquati, one of the great things about having a big ride like that is we have rest stops along the way. And the way we're doing it, everybody kind of heads north and then at some point loops around. And so there's multiple options for, you may think I'm going to go out and do 50 miles, but maybe your legs aren't feeling it when you get going. There's an opportunity to cut that to 35 miles instead. And there's rest stops where you can stop and rehydrate and get food. So it allows for a lot of flexibility, not only in picking what distance you want to do, but maybe changing your mind while you're out there. That's the great thing about the Valley, and what really attracted me to putting on an event here is the variety and the number of options you have, because you've got these great north-south roads with East Valley and Old State 28, and then there's all these cut across. So that gives you all these options to create different distances. And when people are out there, they say, you know what, I think I'm going to take a right here on College Station Mountain and loop back instead of going all the way to Pikeville, or get to Pikeville, they feel good, they just keep going north. There's so many options. It really is nice.
Yeah, and I know my wife and I, sometimes we like to go on the old roads, see the houses and the all the things, the scenery you see. Yeah. And it's not like going down 127.
That's right.
That's right. So it's a pretty scenery, and it's kind of quiet and to itself, and not the hustle and bustle.
Yeah, that's the appeal of it. I mean, there's no traffic, but you're right. You get to see things that you wouldn't see out on the main roads, and that's those old barns and farms, and riding by the horses. It's all great. It's a completely different experience than being in an urban environment.
Right, and you see things you've not seen before. Yeah, I know we have. When we've gone, I'm like, oh, I didn't know that was here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what really attracted me to bike touring to begin with. When I first got into cycling, is it's at a different pace than in your car. So my first bike tour was on the coast of California. My wife took me out there, and we rode with some friends, and I had never done that before, and I was like, wow, I never want to go on vacation without my bike again, because I'm outside of the car. So you're smelling the ocean, you're feeling the breeze, all your senses are engaged. You're riding at a pace where you can actually observe what's going on around you instead of just focusing on the white line. So it's a completely different experience riding your bike. You see so much more.
Along these tour events that you have, like Cyclo Saquati, do you have like in a road race timelines, or like who finishes first, or is it just kind of a...
There are plenty of those kind of events, but we didn't want to do that because we really do want people to take their time and soak in the scenery, and we didn't want people racing so they're running through stop signs or taking chances that they otherwise ordinarily wouldn't take. So I mean, we didn't want to do a race, and so there's no timing at all. We want people to ride at their own pace and experience it, whatever feels good to them.
And I know at the end they have the cookie jar.
So that's one of the things we want to do. When I first put this together, I was like, if we're going to be in Saquati Valley, we shouldn't feed them food that's frozen or shipped in from somewhere else. Like, we have all these wonderful small farms. Why don't we feature those? And so we have a genuine farm-to-table meal, 100% locally sourced from the Valley. So when you're done with your bike ride, you're eating Saquati Cove food, you're eating all these farms that we get it from. It's all prepared. And then for dessert, we get the cookie jar. So you got all those fantastic things. We got cider from Wheeler's Orchard. So we really try to feature all these wonderful locations that the Valley has in one meal. People love it, and that's really kind of sets the event apart from a lot of other rides of a similar nature, is that you're not getting watery spaghetti when you're done, or a dry burger. A lot of the events don't really focus on the food so much, but that's a highlight for us.
Now, is the registration open now?
It is. We open it January 1st, and people are signing up. I think we've already got 8 or 9 states represented, so people are signing up already. We're excited.
Well, good. That's great. And when does registration close?
It closes, well, really, online registration closes about a week before the event, and then we'll have same-day registration. The thing, I mean, registration will be open pretty much all the way until the event, but the price goes up. So the key is to, now we have the lowest price available, so early registration is always the way to go.
And your website, how can they obtain that? What's the website?
It's cyclesaquati.com.
Cyclesaquati.com.
Yeah, pretty simple.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah, and it's got all the details, all the routes are listed there, everything you need to know.
And I know when I checked your website itself, you have a lot of people that are sponsoring. There's more people getting into this and supporting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great to see. I mean, starting with Dunlap and the Saquati County Dunlap Chamber of Commerce, being able to have the event at the park over there, and the police department, the mayor, and of course Janice here at the chamber. Everybody's been so welcoming. I put on an event in 2018 out of Chattanooga from the stadium there, and it was a different experience, but coming out here, everybody is just like, yeah, absolutely, we're 100% behind it. We're talking about doing some stuff with the Mercantile, and getting that involved. And so I really like the local representation. Of course, we've got sponsors coming out of Chattanooga. Village Volkswagen is a huge supporter. And so we appreciate all of that. But I really do like the local feel, because that's what we're trying to do, is really showcase Dunlap and Saquatchie Valley in general.
And do you have vendors that can get into it?
Yeah, we do have a little expo afterwards. It's pretty informal. We're not charging for space, so if somebody wants to come out and sell something or promote something, they can just set up a table there at the park. And we've got, like I said, last year over 450 people coming through, so you can get in front of that audience and show them what you have. And that's local retailers as well as nonprofits, whatever. And
that all starts at Harris Park, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's our home base, and so we hope people will come in early and stay for the full weekend, and we're attracting them to downtown Dunlap by using that park.
Well, I remember the last ride you had. I remember a few days before, I saw people coming in. I saw there's back racks, and I said that, and I thought, I know where they're going to.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun to see that happen, and it's great to get questions from folks asking, where can I stay? We talked to Janice about it, is we need to really promote and highlight lodging options in the valley, so that people aren't spending money in Chattanooga, they could spend it out here.
Yeah.
So that's something we're focused on this year, is pointing people to where they can come in on Thursday or Friday before, stay 2-3 nights in the valley and spend their money here.
And there's some more Airbnbs being opened up locally.
That's right. Yeah, we want to make sure that people know that those are available. So we'll do a lot of promotion on that end.
Well, is there anything that we haven't covered that you'd like to go over?
No, I think you hit the highlights. I guess I should say one more thing. So there's the bike tour stuff that I do. Then there's Cyclo Saquati, the event we've been talking about. And then there's scenicbikeways.com, which is a program we started several years ago, where you can go to that website and it has bike routes on it. So if you just if you're new to the area, or if you live here and you want to start riding bikes, you can go to that website, and there are routes of all kinds of distances throughout the valley, ones that I've ridden personally and that I recommend, and I've mapped them out, and I've also written a description of what the route is like, highlights along the way, points of interest, places to eat afterwards, or shopping, where to stay. So it's a great way to get to know the valley on your own, without having a tour guide or without being part of a big event. There's that option as well. scenicbikeways.com.
Well, I know, talking about the biking part, when I've been to Chattanooga, a few times I've seen cyclists going up the mountain at 111. I thought, man, you're pretty tough.
That's a big climb. We have 3 big climbs as part of Cyclo Saquati, because there is that subset of cyclists that wants that pain and suffering.
Yeah.
So we provide that as well.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to mention, or how can they get in contact with you? Is there a phone number, or is there just the website?
It's all on cyclosaquati.com, or you can go to veloviewbiketours.com. Or scenicbikeways.com. We're all over the place. But there's contact information there. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to respond to emails, and if just cycling questions in general, absolutely. And you can find my contact information on those websites.
All right, great. Well, folks, come to Cyclo Saquati October 1st, And again, you can see our program on BTC Fiber's YouTube page as well as BTC Fiber's Channel 18. So until next time, we'll see you then. Hey everybody, this is Glenn Edison from Valley Views. We appreciate you watching our shows, and we would like for you to like, share, and follow us on Facebook, as well as like and subscribe to our YouTube page.
Brought to you by Bledsoe Telephone Cooperative, your full-service telecommunications provider right here in the Saquati Valley.